Jess hated closing shifts at the department store. The vast, dimly lit space, filled with rows of lifeless mannequins, always set her nerves on edge. They seemed to watch her as she moved from aisle to aisle, their painted eyes glinting faintly under the fluorescent lights. One Friday night, just past 10 p.m., Jess was finishing her rounds. Her co-worker had left hours earlier, leaving her alone to lock up. She walked through the women's section, straightening a blouse when something caught her eye. A mannequin stood in the middle of the aisle, far from its usual display. "Very funny, Greg," she muttered, assuming her co-worker had pulled a prank. She dragged the mannequin back to its platform and returned to her tasks. But as she reached the home goods section, a chill ran down her spine. The mannequin was there again, positioned between two shelves of towels. Jess froze. The store was locked. No one could have moved it. She laughed nervously, convincing herself that fatigue was playing tricks on her. She wheeled it back to its original spot and decided to finish up quickly. As she turned off the lights aisle by aisle, she couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The mannequins seemed closer than before, their limbs slightly shifted, their heads angled in her direction. She shook her head. "Get a grip, Jess." When she reached the security office to check the cameras, her stomach dropped. The footage showed her dragging the mannequin back to the display, but as soon as she left, it stepped down. Its movements were jerky, almost robotic, but deliberate. Heart pounding, Jess rewound the footage. It moved again, this time toward the back of the store. She turned to leave the office, but the door slammed shut, locking her inside. The monitor flickered, and the screen filled with static before a new image appeared. The mannequin standing right outside the office door. A sharp knock made Jess jump. She didn't dare move. The doorknob rattled, and then silence. Gathering her courage, she peeked through the tiny window. Nothing. She cracked the door open and stepped into the hallway, gripping her phone like a lifeline. The store was eerily quiet. As she crept toward the exit, she noticed something. Every mannequin in the store had turned to face her. Their heads tilted in unison, their lifeless faces locked onto hers. Suddenly, the lights cut out, plunging the store into darkness. Jess fumbled for her phone flashlight, her breath ragged. The beam illuminated the path ahead, but then it caught movement, a mannequin stepping toward her, its joints creaking. She screamed and bolted for the exit, but the mannequins moved to block her path, their forms towering and unyielding. One by one they closed in, their blank faces contorted into eerie grins. The next morning, the store manager arrived to find everything in perfect order. The mannequins stood motionless on their platforms, and the store was silent, except for the faint sound of laughter echoing from the security office. Jess was never seen again,